Yes. Welcome to the Temple Breakdown. We're about to break some knowledge down, build it back up, and dish it out for you, the people, to completely understand. Today, we talking about PTSD from growing up black. We about to break some knowledge down today. We about to go deep into PTSD from growing up in the hood, from interacting with other people, from relationships, partnerships, these type of things. We about to really get it in today. Welcome to the Temple Breakdown.
All right, so what we was talking about as far as what the sister was saying, I think Miss Patricia, can you hear me?
Yes.
I think, most of that came about with the PTSD is because honestly, I've even heard from some of my elders that when you was a strong brother, they was attacking you. So our brothers kind of developed this slick game or a smooth way of talking of placating the European or placating the oppressors because they didn't want to be attacked for no reason. So that's where we even get the word game from. You're like, oh, that brother got game. He got to get the gab. He know how to talk his way out of a situation. And I think that even comes from PTSD, post-traumatic slave syndrome. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what that is.
That's like a
Not,
survival mechanism because of the issue.
yeah, we figured the more that we could be dandies, because that's basically what we became. We became dandies to where you got a lot of brothers who don't even want to work. You know what I mean? As far as
Professional ass kisser, what's a dandy?
like a dandy, I don't even mean it derogatory. A dandy is a person who's just, where before we were more land based and we were more a physical labor force. A lot of the brothers was really into farming, into building, into trade and skills. Like we owned a lot of bus companies, a lot of factories. We owned those things. And those things were attacked. And the only way they would let us make it if we would be basically the smart employee in their business. To where another thing of PTSD is we got brothers who will say, I'm the only black person at my job, and they say it with pride. Or man, I'm the only black person in my neighborhood, and they saying that with pride. You know what I'm saying? They're proud of that accomplishment to be the only black person out there that nobody's messing with. They're proud to be the only black person in their office, or the only Puerto Rican person, or the only Dominican person. Like, yeah, I don't live around. Like, I know I've heard it a lot of times where I'm from. Like, I don't live over there. I live out west, or that's where the white people live. Where I'm from. Like, we live out west. We don't live over north. We don't live on the south side. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a very big in our community not to live around our own people. Like that's like an accolade, and I think that comes directly from the slavery thing, the post traumatic slave syndrome. You know what I mean?
PTSD, okay. So another
We,
thing, if I might add, when it comes to the upliftment of our people, it's like I would say like it's like a stigma. It's something that's stopping them from, like, one of the things that is stopping them is that PTSD that we're talking about, as far as uplifting ourselves as a nation, as a collective of people. Um, I can identify a big lack in our community when it comes to upliftment and positive reinforcements, and us moving up in consciousness, us moving up in economics, us moving up as well-rounded people. It's a lack in there. So when it comes to self-belief, when it comes to that drive, the drive of a champion. Some of that is lacking in our community due to the fact of post-traumatic stress from growing up. Post-traumatic stress is also that's what we inherit. Instead of us inheriting physical economical item for us to kind of use as a platform to propel ourselves into the future of success, we inherit uh, prior post-traumatic stress.
mhm.
No, I don't trust them. This, that, and third, blah, blah, yakety smack. Like, these the type of things that we inherit from our, you know,
Our elders.
family and our elders. There you go.
Hmm.
So, that's kind of like what's stopping us. Like, when it comes in the area of building owning your own business, having resources, these type of things is a lack in our community because of that fear of being independent.
Yeah. And
True.
most and it's even to the and sister and it's even to the point, brother Garth, sister Patricia, to where even I've been told by like my mom and stuff like, man, shave that beard off. Like, why you got that beard? Like, like you ain't gonna get no job with that beard. You like cut your hair, you ain't gonna get your job with that hair. Like, they
I'm glad you
basically
brought
just
that up. I'm glad you brought that up because you know how that feel. That is post traumatic stress. You definitely identified that. So the feeling of it, if I can like articulate it, it's like, damn, like I just want to be me. I just want to be accepted as who I am. And this is how I want to have my facial hair right now. I just believe like I should be growing a beard. And upon going into, say you did kind of like subscribe to keeping your beard, and upon going into a job interview or an environment as such, some type of government environment, business environment, environment for commerce, whatever the case may be, legal environment, you're going to feel some type of way because of the standard. It's like a social standard. The social standard that's out there kind of goes against you in your natural form and you how you would like to be accepted as a black man or as a minority or just as an individual, their own unique person, right?
Mhm.
Um, it kind of holds us back. That feeling like what you understand what I'm saying? You going in there looking like Kuta Kente. I don't know, that right
Mhm.
there.
Yeah, and it's like I felt it even with the way we dress. Like it's just like we get told, hey, you need to dress different. You look like this. Like man, this is how I dress. This is my culture. It like the PTSD is so bad where we ashamed to even represent our culture when we go to certain places. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I'm the typical brother. Like I dress like a brother. Like I'm not trying to change up. You see me, you know where I'm at. Like I'm coming through. Like I'm in some Jordans or I'm in some Nikes. I got the sweatsuit on. I got my beard banging. I got, what I'm saying? Like I see you, bro. We got the swag going on.
Yeah,
And it's like we even get told, like, man, you can't go into this environment like that. Like, bro, I see an Indian brother over here wearing his whole full ceremonial garb. You know what I'm saying? Now we see the Arab brothers coming through in the jalabia. You know what I'm saying? But I'm messed up because I want to come through basically with some FUBU on. Like I want to rock Damien John clothes. I want to wear Sean John. You know what I'm saying? I want to throw the J's on without having to be predisposed to that. Like that's just an example of that. Like even us being ourselves, we get done. Like that's a form of PTSD. Like if you dress like a black person, they gonna judge you like a thug or a street person. Like bro, this is just our culture. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think that's real heavy in the community too. They actually trying to stop us from being culturally expressive.
True.
And then that's where the European clothes getting pushed and yeah, I'm in Prada, I'm in Gucci. Like all that stuff is made by homosexual Europeans, bro. Like, I don't want to wear that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like that stuff is not made for us.
And the mindset, man, the mindset didn't change. In the black community, we was all used to turning negatives into a positive. So just like go back to slavery days, we didn't get the supposable good parts of the pig. We got the leftovers, but made that stuff taste so good that everybody wanted leftover pig now. It's the same thing. Like we got this thing in our mind to where anything that's rock bottom dirt, street, we good with that. We gonna make money off of that. You know what I'm saying? We can't go play the supposable quote unquote white man's game and get the money that way, or do it that way, or build that way. So we're so used to that in the mind, and now everything's changing up to we still want to build that way, but we want the supposable white man stuff, the Prada, the Gucci, the fancy nice cars that we know is the same as the car that's gonna
that
cost
comes from growing up in poverty. That comes from like trying to be something that you're not. That comes from uh trying to appear that you have wealth and assets and a strength in economics, but you really don't. That's a sickness. That's a psychological sickness, if if I might add. That's what that comes from, and that's PTSD. It comes from that post-traumatic stress of growing up poor without, growing up without, and pretending as if you have. And part of the social engineering is providing certain props that you can use to kind of present that facade to the public. That's why they have like the social medias. You got the Facebook and the Instagrams and these type of things with a bunch of people flaunting these objects of success, and wearing the mask. It's like, it's really, this society is based upon wearing the mask. You can't be your natural self. You can't, like, explore yourself and be comfortable within your own uniqueness, because you get judged and stereotyped based upon, the statistics of, society and the way how they engineer it. Like, I think TV was another thing. Like, that was a topic that we were speaking about. We were speaking about how TV is used to engineer society and the way how they look at things, and how they deal with people, and how you should judge certain type of people. When you go on TV and you watch, like, the image of the black man, this is a gangster. This is a person who, like, all different type, all bad stereotypes of drug dealer, gangster, these type of things, the enemy, this, that, and third. So when you go to other countries, they respond to us like, especially like hip hop and stuff like that. They respond to us like that. Like when they see us as the character on TV, they talk to you like that. What's up, dog? What's this, that, and third, blah, blah. Somebody called me a nigger. Like, what's up, my nigger? He said it like that, though. I didn't know how to really look at it. I guess he was trying to be cool and thought that that's how we talk to, amongst ourselves. But that was kind of, I didn't know how to receive, like, this person outside of me, my race, telling me, what's up, my nigger.
Most deaf. And like the main thing about that gets to me about the syndromes that we have or the disorders that we have and the stress that we have is that it causes us to even be harsher on each other. We seem to hold each other to this standard that's not even realistic. Like it's not even a realistic standard we looking at. You know what I mean? Like, how could you realistically expect me to meet these standards knowing the whole situation and what we all go through, and we all go through the same thing? And it's like we nitpick at the smallest fault of each other. And I just believe that comes from that syndrome too. Like it's like we pick at the smallest thing. Like we could do one wrong thing and the brother be like, man, you a hypocrite. Like, how am I a hypocrite, bro? Like like I'm not allowed to have a mind. Like I gotta be one way at all times. Like I'm not allowed to change my mind or have a new thought or change myself without being called a hypocrite or a faker, or you know what I'm saying? Like all that stuff come from that. Like if I say I'm something, I'm trying to hard, I'm attempting my best to be an upright man, but I fall short and I have faults. And I feel like a syndrome of the PTSD is that we usually make the faults big and make the great things about ourselves small.
That's like, that's crazy. That's twisted.
Yeah, that's twisted because we actually have a lot of good qualities about each other. Like, yeah, this brother is this, he's a good this, he a good that, but oh yeah, he do that, so he faking. Like, how is he faking? That's just a character flaw. Nobody's perfect. Why are we trying to hold each other to perfection and nobody's perfect? We just got this idea of that, we're so scared to trust each other. But you cool getting beat by another person. Like if somebody else run game on you, it's like, oh, we don't blame each other for that. But if we run game on each other, oh, that nigga ain't nothing. He ain't shit. She ain't shit. But like, man, we just people. I mean, we just people. We trying to make our way out here like everybody else. And I used to have that real bad. And it's like, man, I can't throw no stones because my house is glass too. You know what I'm saying? My house is glass too. I'm not perfect. And I feel like we just
It's a
get
lot.
caught up in this situation with that.
The way I look at it is like there's a lot of energy in motion. Like, this perpetuated hate that's flowing around amongst the people on this planet, and they don't know how to deal with it. So it's passed on to the next person, on to the next person, on to these people, these group of people, right back around, like never ending, perpetuated hate. Um, for example, you could be, you get fresh, like person A is the person who's getting fresh. You going outside, you about to have a nice day. Then you have someone staring at you. You gonna kind of get a little aggressive within, wanting to know, why is this person staring at me? What the fuck is they looking at? What are you looking at? Like a lot of fights break out because of that. A lot of people, there's a lot of conflict caused because of that. Not knowing that the person that was looking at you, they're just admiring you for looking nice. So I think that's kind of funny, and that's definitely an aspect of what we're talking about right now in terms of PTSD. Like, what will make you angry when someone is kind of, somewhat, admiring your shoes, those nice Jordans? You know what I mean? What will make you angry about that when you actually, that's the reason why you kind of like spent the extra money to get that brand, so you can get some attention and some compliments. So that's a form of PTSD. How can we progress as a people when it's so much hatred and conflict involved? Like, to me, when I view hatred and conflict and these type of things, I see a weakness in that. So if we are true strong people, like you should be able to be strong emotionally as well. Like not get into your feelings and know how to handle certain situations, like a mature intellectual. You see what I'm
And
saying?
yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
no, I'm listening to you, but I was just agreeing with you. And I was just
Yeah,
gonna make a point into it. It's so bad sometimes that we even get, like, I know I do. I can't speak on anybody else, but I even get to the point where I just feel like I need to slow down or cut back or dim my light down, or because it's tiring. It's tiring, and that's another effect of it, is that now we're so into this thing and we're so dysfunctional mentally that I've even been with people and I couldn't understand it. Like, they'll see somebody doing good and they just be like, he ain't shit, she ain't shit. Like, wait, what made you say that? You know what I mean? Or like, they trying to show off. It's like, why are they trying to show off? They just live how they normally live. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do you think that they're trying to show off on you? I think like a big thing with the PTSD is an inferiority complex. We have an inferiority complex as a people, to where anytime we see one of our own excelling, we immediately got something bad to say. Oh, they sold to the devil. They did this for that money. Like, and I just be like, man, you don't even know that person. Like, what if that person spent his whole teenage years working at McDonald's, man, and saved his money to buy that car? You don't know. You know what I mean? But it's like we got such a big inferiority complex. Like, I
Yeah.
know I done heard sisters say it, like, anytime they see brothers with nice things, they automatically just assume he's a drug dealer or he a Negro peon. One of the two. Like, either you sell dope or you a Negro peon. You can't be an upright, upstanding brother and not sell drugs or not be a sellout and have nice things, or else you looked at as a sellout. I
Exactly.
mean, that's real.
Exactly.
And that's just a real situation that I notice. And I notice it even more amongst the sisters. Like, sisters got it bad.
Oh yeah.
Sisters bang on each other so hard. Like, I'll be like, dang, like, well, you don't even know her, mama. Like, what's up?
That's right.
right.
That's right. I know one thing. I live in the South,
Hmm.
and living in the South, the Caribbean women, which is the predominant community of women, they are very catty, very catty. They don't come out of themselves to uplift another sister. They don't greet another sister in the street in a higher realm. They never approach another sister in a higher realm. They would never come and say, "How are you, my queen? How you doing? You're looking good, my queen." Those words are never in passing. in the Christian community. They never raised up another sister. Never. I get when I go out, I am so new to the environment in which when I go out. If I see a sister, she got a natural hairdo and she wears her hair in the natural form, I am very complimentary to her. I call her, "Oh, Queen, you are looking good. I like your hair." They're like they're taken back. They can't embrace that kind of upliftment. As women down here in the South, it's horrible. I, I, I cannot become friends with certain women down here because they eventually get very catty of the simple things that you have, that you own, that things are going on for you. They are never very supportive for any type of progressive ends and means. I've only met one woman in my community, my immediate community, that will honor the consciousness of what I have to share. She's the only one that will come out of her way to come and support me. I remember last year for my birthday. Last year for my birthday, I did a ceremony in home, and I did a name change ceremony on my birthday. It was the day that I renamed myself as Sekhmet. I had invited a few people to come to my service, to come to my participation. She's the only woman my age that came, and she came in a beautiful way, righteously. She came dressed as an African woman because she wanted to understand how to be in union and form unity by coming the way that she did. There are other people that did not even communicate with me in that way. When I share knowledge and uplifting knowledge to the women in my age group, these are the Christian women. These are the Negropean women's that they're gone. They're dead. They're gone. They won't be coming back. They're the ones that raise the 40-year-olds. These are the women that I cannot reach them. They're very dangerous women because they are women that will do undercurrent things to you. They come to find out your business just so that they can use something against you. So I live isolated and alone on my own to protect myself. And the only outlet that I have is like meetings like we're having right now because there's not many people I can socialize with. When I come forward and I speak the truth and I'm a comedic woman, they are so alien to the comedic philosophy. It makes of no sense to them. You know, I've been gone for many years away from the Christian consciousness. It's hard to even reach them. It is. So I'm in a very desert land. I'm in a desert. I live in a desert land psychologically.
Yeah, and most deaf, and even I think a Garth. I think that even ties into the situation that we have a lot of times with that. Another syndrome of it is that we kind of scared to be who we are. We think we're gonna be judged or ridiculed or made fun of. Because I know, like, I'm a dark skinned brother. I know it was a lot of people calling me an African booty scratcher and blacker than black and all that stuff when I was growing up. And this is real. This was like a real part of our community where it was like, it was almost frowned upon. Like Galen was talking about it before he rolled out. Like, it was like frowned upon to have any type of positive identity for your blackness or your Africanness or whatever you wanted to call it. It was just frowned upon.
Yeah.
And man, like I remember when I met the first Puerto Rican brother who told me he was Taino. He was like, man, I'm Taino. I'm not black. Like, I'm not a Puerto Rican, man. Stop calling me that. He told me, like, he put me on the game, like, man, Puerto Rican means rich port. You know what I'm saying? There's no way I could be a rich Portian. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was like, no, man, I'm a Taino, man. Don't call me that. And when I first heard that term, I wasn't even conscious of what was going on in the island. You know, I was just real gung ho Marcus Garvey. And this was before I knew anything about the oppression of the world. You know what I mean? It wasn't just Africa or South America that was oppressed. It was the whole world. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, and we don't, and part of the PTSD is that we're scared to learn these things. We're scared to actually explore the real history. And I've even had people tell me, like, what's the point of knowing it all? You know what I'm saying? The point of knowing it all is to know who you are. Are you cool just not knowing who you are, not knowing your culture, not knowing where you come from? Are you just comfortable with the things they say about us, with the way
So
they're judging us and treating us?
you got something called currency. You got something called survival. So
Mm-hmm.
due to the fact that people need to survive and a way to survive has been, presented for them. Like, that whole brainwash period, going to school, being brainwashed to be a worker, a employee, opposed to a CEO or, a person with a trade that could do something economically for, the people, group of people that you're connected with. You don't you don't learn how to be a leader in school. Like they give you, mathematics, which is important in these type of things, but you're basically getting taught, you're basically getting socially engineered. And, we as a people, we've been through some things, but there's no book written to, hey, this is what you do after. No one, I guess our people are looking for instructions. They're used to instructions. Hey, do this, do it like this.
Mm-hmm.
Then you do that. You see what I'm saying? So that's kind of like a slave syndrome too, because like you had told what to do in order to do. You don't necessarily have an independent mind and can make thoughts on your own, decisions on your own. And that's another aspect of like, that type of oppression, the effects of oppression, and how people respond to those effects, and those effects being passed down throughout from generation after generation. I feel like, we need to put an end to that. If we don't do it, if we don't put books out there, literature out there for the people to study and understand within that there is a problem with what we would call what we're calling right now and identifying right now as PTSD from growing up within a black community, growing up in a low income community, growing up without income. This is for those type of people, and obviously there's an issue. This is a topic that a lot of people do not speak about, so that's why we are tapping on the topics of PTSD from growing up black, PTSD period. If I might add, I remember, I grew up in Philadelphia, and one thing that kind of like, uh, helped me identify that, damn, I kind of got a PTSD from growing up in Philly, is like, you got Pat who would drive up behind you, and the cops out there, they violate your rights. If you don't know your rights, you definitely get your rights violated. So these cops that kind of creep up, you could just be minding your business, walking on a late night, after maybe 9:30, and it's a high probability that the cops they gonna jump out on you and search you. That's what happens. Like at a certain time at night in certain neighborhoods, the cops they is gonna jump out on you and search you. They're gonna violate you. They're gonna search everywhere. You see what I'm saying? They're gonna grip your nuts as a man. They're gonna grip your nuts and all types of stuff. They're gonna ask you your name. You can definitely harass. So now that I'm not in that environment, and if I'm out and I hear like a vehicle behind me, it just kind of triggers something in me. Like it's about I gotta run. What the fuck is this? Like something. You feel me? So Uh, that's like one aspect. I'm sure many people who are watching this video right now can relate to something like that. If it's not the cops, it's the stick up kids. It's one or the other. If it's not the cops, it's your own kind trying to get you. Somebody trying to get you. You hear that engine behind you? Somebody trying to get you. So I wonder how many people out there in the world has that symptom. Like, damn, someone is out there trying to get me. Maybe that's the reason why, like, it's kind of difficult for our people to trust our own people. Like, trust is a big, major issue in a lot of relationships, in a lot of families, in a lot of partnerships. Trust is big. Like, who can you trust? Can you trust yourself? A lot of us can't even trust ourselves because of, like, the subconscious things that we do that is detrimental to ourselves. Uh, like, say for instance, you have some woman getting, like, plastic surgery on their gluteus maximus, and breast implants and these type of things. I'm not knocking those women. I'm just saying, like, I'm looking at that as a form of, not necessarily comfortable with who you are, who you came to this world to become, comfortable within your skin, and as a result of the social engineering or how other people think, you want to cut into your body and make some different certain type of improvements that would satisfy other people about who you are. So you got a lot of people hiding behind who they really are. You got a lot of people that's muffled and scared to present the person that who they really are. You have a lot of hurt people. These people carrying around anger and pain and sufferation and depression and all these mixed emotions that are in motion, all of these mixed energies in motion that they're holding within their vehicle. And at any given moment, they can just explode. It's like, a lot of people, our people are walking around like a nuclear bomb. And, because of a lack of knowledge of how to heal, how to properly heal, how to identify why it is that, you're so, like, you have this energy of being a warmonger, or you have this belligerent energy. You know, the first step is to be able to identify, and once you can identify, you can make some changes. And when we make significant changes just from studying ourselves, we would gain the knowledge to be able to help our family members and those that are close around us, because we have some, like, stubborn family members. They ain't trying to hear that. They ain't trying to hear liberation. They're not trying to hear remedies. They stuck in their ways. It's just like this with me. So this is the way for me. This is what works for me for so long. This is what it is. We got a lot of people like that. And I guess that's what the queen will, maybe you might call that a nigger, because, like, the further you go back into history, the oppression was in a different form. And one of the biggest tricks today in this day and time is, like, tricking you, the people, that there's no oppression going on, slavery's over, and all these type of things. None of us was taught legalese, the legal language of the rulers of the world. No, none of us was taught that, and it's so significant to know that, because, like, your freedom is tied up within those contexts and words that they use that are foreign to the English language. So what we're talking about right now, which is in effect PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, from a particular action, from a particular uh, uh, person, place, or thing, right? That was set up out there for us to kind of, like, never be able to rise as our own independent nation. Can you imagine capturing a nation of people? You capture a nation of people, like, and you keep them close, because these people right here, if they was ever to figure out how great they was, if they was ever to be able to tap back into themselves, all these things, if they was ever to have self-belief again and these type of things, they would become another great civilization. So, they go through great lengths to kind of cow us down and keep us in the box. You see a lot of homosexuality on TV nowadays. They promote it. It's something that they're promoting, like an event, a boxing event or something like that, like, HBO, you know, scheduled event. They promoting it hard. You got it in the cartoons for the children and these type of things. which in turn, just that simple thing, like, hey, let's show them this, let's play with their subconscious, let's get these images in their mind, let's infect them with these images in their mind, and blah blah blah, yakety smack is all the science, and we don't see that, we don't see it. I'm sorry for I might be a little long-winded right now, but I want to tap into the things that a lot of people are not recollecting right now. They're not observing, like, the world from this standpoint. So I want to touch on, like, the GMO weeds. I follow, Dr. Sabi's, journaling and teachings. And within some of his documents, he's saying that if it does not have seeds, that's not real. It's not natural. So that's why I'm going as far as calling some of these new cannabis species GMO species. A lot of these species are genetically engineered to affect people who intake it in a certain type of way. When you kind of look at what is on the TV, especially within the hip hop community, they're showing these images, they're painting this facade that, if you want to make money, if you want to be successful in life, you should pop this pill, you should pop this molly, you should sip on this scissor, you should do this and do that, you should get ass implants if you're a woman, and breast implants, and you should do this and do that, and all these type of things, kind of showing you, with these different type of programmings, so when people take the program, it's like they run into a wall and are affected by that. You spending your money on $700 shoes, and you can't pay your rent. And because you can't pay your rent, you got some. You see what I'm saying? It's just a never-ending cycle of different, systematic, different type of things. That help oppress you, making wrong decisions, and because we haven't been educated on how to function within the system that was created by those people who are in power right now. But yeah, that's just my take on that. I just want to elaborate on that. It's very diverse and a very deep topic that we're talking about right now. And right now we're just really cracking the ice on it. It is a psychological effect of oppression, but I help identify that this oppression is somewhat invisible. It's not like someone got a gun to your head telling you, like, hey dude, blah 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 blah. It's very subtle. Let me show you these images. Let me infect your subconscious. It's like it's like a spiritual war, so to say, because like you're seeing these images and then it affects you, and then later on you're still picturing these images long after the images was presented to you. So our people got to be able to identify these things. Like first step is to admit that there's a problem, which is PTSD. If you suffer from that, like you taking things out on people, like this is you're shell shocked. You're living in a state of being shell shocked. And if you do nothing about it, you're going to meet someone else that's shell shocked, and that's what the clashing is about. Like it kind of hurts me when I see our own people kill our own people. That's due to a lack of knowledge. Like you out here trying to survive, and some people, because of growing up a rough life and not getting love and these type of things, you kind of like gave up on life. There's people out there who have given up on life, and they just live to please other people. They just don't care. There's no like taking the time out to study what's going on. What am I doing here? What can I do to increase my finances? Like, is there anything else that I can do to help around the house? Is there anything else I can do to help a family member? Is there a family member with a vision that I can team up with and make something happen? Like we don't have nothing like this going on. If it is some other form of this one sickness that's going to creep in, that's going to mess everything up. You got, a person who, never had anything growing up, and once they get a little shine, they make bad decisions. It's all about survival. Like we all want to survive, but you have a lot of people doing it the wrong way due to how they feel and the environment they was raised in and the things that they've been through. Some of these things, some of these pains that they holding on. even in relationships, like within a relationship, if you have like, you know, a bitter partner that been through a lot, like, you know, you might have a partner that have been abandoned in the past, and they have abandonment issues, and they bring those issues and they bring all of those, you know, emotional luggage into the relationship. And you know, it could be two people that really care about each other, but when you bring in that type of luggage within the relationship, it's going to like make, you know, run one of your partners away, and something that could have been so perfect is now ruined. And a lot of people, women and men, they don't look at it like that. They you know, they looking past that, and you know, they holding on to other things, different things, to make them bitter. and and you know, they lose the ability to maintain that partnership, maintain relationships. Like, you know, you don't really see that going on. Is you have to is it requires a level of strength to be able to overstand and understand a situation. It could be an argument. You have to be the bigger person. Being the words that we use, being the bigger person. I rather say, you know, be more of an enlightened being, or you know, a God person, but we can still say being the bigger person, which requires a level of emotional strength, mental strength. You see what I'm saying? These type of things. You not to explode a level of intelligence and education when it comes to dealing with people and situations like that. Because um, you know, I'm kind of like fishing right now. I'm fishing for a solution to like how can we begin to heal from this post traumatic stress that is perpetuated throughout uh, our people.
And my thing is like I've been, everything you said, I full fledged agree with you. Like I'm 100% with you on the board. And as far as the solutions, I don't see no way to fix it in this current situation. Like the only way I see this to fix it is not segregation, but active conscious separation. We have to decide that, hey, we don't want to live in these cities no more, man. We don't want to live in these communities where this stuff is perpetuated, because we understand that for a mass majority of our people, they don't even believe anything is wrong. Like they believe that, we gonna keep it real, that niggas is the problem. Like they so brainwashed into it, they believe that we the problem. And we don't even control nothing. You know what I mean? So like the only way, that's why I say the only way I see it is for us to actively form our own situations where we can have trust, where we can have a place like Miss Patricia said, where our word is our bond. You know what I mean? Because even when trying to do business, I've met so many brothers with good ideas, great, beautiful minds, but they're scared to even deal with each other. They'd rather go try to go to a bank and get a loan where you could just come at us and try to present it to us, but in their mind, like, oh, these niggas gonna steal my idea. When the biggest thieves is the ones you going through trying to get the money. You know what I mean? To start the idea. You
For
feel
real,
me? Like,
for real, for real.
and
Truth.
it's like, but even when we talked and you were talking about your business plan, we ain't even gonna speak on it on the live.
Yeah.
But even that will be construed as we have put that vibration out there. And for the mass majority of our people, they would say we on some BS. Are we trying to do this? Are we trying? And they would just have a negative opinion from the rip because of the stress, the fear, the cerebral fear that we suffer from, the cognitive dissonance. Like all of these things run rapid inside of our mental states.
True.
We don't have a place, we don't have a place where we can go and speak. Like when we was growing up, we never had somebody like it was back in the day where you had a couple elders in the neighborhood that kept everybody, basically they would handle everybody. They would do that. We don't have that in our communities. We don't. And the honest thing is, like, inside of our communities, we have the attitude that nobody could tell us shit. Like you can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. And we so materialistic inside this shit is that we'll look at a person with supreme wisdom, but just because they don't got no nice clothes on, they ain't got a nice car, we disregard their supreme wisdom for the person who really the devil because he got a pretty clothes on and a pretty chain on. You know
Exactly.
what I'm saying? And
So
we devil infiltrate us all
Exactly.
because of an image. because we not spiritual no more, and we got to keep it. We're not a spiritual group of people no more. You
What
know, the
I'm getting
elders.
right now, like as far as not to cut you off, brother, but as far as like a remedy, I'm understanding right now that it's going to take education. If we can highlight, like so uh, some of these aspects what we're breaking down right now, if we can really let's break it down some more. Like let's
Yeah.
break it down into categories. What you was just saying, that is a great example. If you can run that back again, like that right there is a bracket of this post-traumatic stress disorder of what's affecting our people. So if we can at will, if we can have strong knowledge of these things and at will can say, hey, that's just that. As far as diagnosing,
Mhm.
just at will, because we understand the context of it so well, we can, as soon as we see it, we can diagnose it. Like, hey, you're suffering right now from abandonment issues, and that's why this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. And these are some of the things you can do to kind of release those abandonment issues. So we can uh, be able to educate the people and have that flowing around. I know that that would start working as far as like remedy for some of the trust issues that we have, the betrayal and these type of things. And what how I identify it is energy and motion. Energy and motion has to be handled. That's a mature thing to do. That's a part of protecting yourself. To give you an example, what I mean about how to identify energy and motion and how to relinquish it or handle it according, is like if I was to be speaking to someone and I start to curse like fuck you, this, that, and the third. But excuse my language, everyone, but I'm this is how it is in the real world. All right.
Mhm.
So if I'm like that, cussing and all that, that's going to make a person feel. You're going to feel some type of way, right?
Mhm.
And the type of way that you're going to feel is not going to be a positive type of way. I'm using these words, and these words that I'm directing towards you is manifesting in you and rubbing you the wrong way.
Mhm.
Now you want to respond to it. If you don't get a chance to respond to it, and I'm gone before you can, now you're harboring these feelings. You see what I'm saying? So because that happened to you, you want to kind of like it goes into your subconscious, and now if someone else is appearing to kind of like be in that type of way, you're going to be uptight.
I think another way we could solve it is like during the summer times, we should try to figure out a way to get summer camps and group meetings and stuff like that where we run them, where we control them, where we could teach. Because, I know a lot of times, there'll be summer camps for the kids and stuff. And honestly, we would need that like a camp setting where we all be together for 3 weeks. And it's all of us together, working together, building trust in each other, doing activities, out there. It sounds crazy, but out there rowing rowboats. Like let's put four boys on the rowboat and say, hey, man, you got to get across this river or you get stuck. They're gonna figure out a way to work with each other for survival and figure out that it's not bad. It's not bad to trust one another. It's not bad to take on responsibility. It's not bad to have a little bit of belief that we can achieve something together. Because that's one of the biggest issues we face is we just don't even believe we can do anything positive. You know what I mean? We don't believe.
I think because I hear what you're saying, but it's going to be hard to get a person to move with that take when they struggling over their bills, they rent, when they don't know where their next meal comes from, when you understand they can't trust this, they're dealing with like on so on and so forth. So I'm seeing like opportunity, providing opportunity, teaching about teaching about our ultimate solution, you know, which is the problem is we don't inherit anything economical that we can use to build an economical foundation. What we
Mhm.
inherit is PTSD.
No, most deaf, most
Perpetual.
deaf, most deaf. And I don't even know an answer. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be honest, like, because I think about it so much, and this occupies a majority of my time, and a majority of my thoughts are ways that we could change, or we could uplift each other, or we can empower each other. This is my life. You know what I mean? And it's like I try to find a balance, and like in my side, and part of the way that PTSD done affected me is I honestly don't got no faith in the like a lot of the economic processes, because we've done a lot of them. We've tried to do it economically, and it was like we don't control no economics. You know what I mean? So even when we are going through these phases of economy, like we have to go get business licenses from them. We have to go ask permission to do business. You know what I mean? We have to ask permission to do this. I'm more geared towards the things that we don't have to ask permission for. You know what I mean? So like, and that's part of my struggle with the PTSD syndrome, is where I kind of even like dropped out of mainstream life. Like I don't even want to try to do none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not even scared to say it was my fear. Not that I'm scared of any individual, but it was my fear of failure. You know what I mean? So that's why I like a lot of it with me is, we have to build, I feel that we have to build confidence in each other again, because we're not confident with each other as a law. We're not confident in doing these things. We're not trusting of each other. Like we said, we don't even believe that a lot of us would do the right thing. We don't even look at ourselves as a moral people anymore, because we've been sold out so many times for the money. Our people have been sold out from the continent all the way to here for economic reasons and economic purposes. It's like, yeah, this.
Can I add something? Not to even cut you off. I just want to add.
Yeah, what's that?
We just got we as a people, we have to admit that we have been socially engineered.
Yeah.
First thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've been socially engineered, so let me re-engineer the social engineering.
Mm-hmm.
That's the process. Okay,
it's going to think like educational videos will work better than books.
Yes, I think we should keep doing like videos like this, speaking about this specific topic. Maybe we should do a part 2 or break it down in a certain type of subjects. But this right here is a very important subject to talk about, because it's perpetuated, and someone has to put an end to it. Someone has to shine the magnifying glass on it. Like, look, PTSD, that's what it is, and this is what you do. These are the solutions. The primary thing, like, I'm gonna go back to economics, okay? Because we, for over 2,000 years, we have not been embracing economics. We don't partake in that at all. I'm not sure if people think it's against the law to kind of like self-sustain, but it's not. Newsflash, it's not, ladies and gentlemen and viewers that's watching. So we should become, farmers. We should become, own our own transportation, and something similar to Greyhound, or airports and these type of things. Like, as a whole, collective, this is what we need to be embracing. Like that should be the desire that you have. That should be the mission. That should be the family's mission.
And most definitely, that's definitely the mission. Like the mission is, complete self-reliance.
Exactly.
So, and I just, in the point of views, I fully support it. And I just understand that we're going to need more than a couple people. So for that, we actually have to mold some people to be what we need them to be, because a lot of people are like as we speak on these things of caring about, I don't even call it woke or conscious or none of that. I just speaking of, if you love yourself and you love your people because you love yourself, a lot of us don't even have love of self. A lot of us don't even have love of self. And how do you tell the people to be economically empowered and they don't even love themselves enough to take care of themselves or be honorable in business with each other? You know what I mean? Because like a lot of this stuff is, like we said, a lot of it is trust. A lot of it is trust. And just because like we trust you, we trust each other for certain things.
You know what I mean? Just hear me out real fast, God. Like we trust each other and we do things with each other based on of our morals. You know, it's hard for us, even once we get started in the things that we want to do, to even trust to bring other people into the situation. You know what I mean? Because we don't have any process. Like I know a lot of times there's process to let people inside stuff. Like when you want to join a business group, you don't just get to join it. Like they vet you, they put you through
I don't
tests.
think it's because of trust. I don't think it's because of trust, you know? Because then, cause the way I look at it is like it's a form of weakness. It's like, okay, that's like is a less confident characteristic to have a level of the fear of trust. You
Yeah,
can give a person, you can have great calculations and understand potential outcomes and break down, do the math mentally, right? That's
most
like
definitely.
that's like a more stronger thing to do. If you break down a concept, do the math mentally, bam, it's only these are the two outcomes that could potentially happen. Well, I'm gonna bet my money on this. It's just a chance to take. So when you come into the table like that with that type of way of thinking, it's a lot different from I'm gonna trust this person, bam, bam, you're gonna walk away from the opportunity, the potential opportunity.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I'm not speaking on us not trusting each other.
No. I'm
I'm
talking about as a community, as a whole, as a collective. That's what I'm talking about. You understand? So
yeah,
people,
as a
where
community,
I'm
we
coming
don't.
from, is people
Go
not
ahead.
doing, they're not taking the time out to do a mental decision like that and break things down mentally like that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and I'm asking how will we build that? Because we have to be the changing force for that. You know, if we understand that our community is already like this, we're already in this condition. This is not a condition that we're talking about. Like this is a condition that we're actively in the heart of. You know what I'm saying? Our community suffers from this actively. It's not like a thing of the past or something that's coming. It's right now.
I think that if the people that are viewing this right now would take the time out and do some research,
Mm-hmm.
Google some of the symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder, and you will
Mm-hmm.
see that a lot of those symptoms are identical to what we are talking about right now within the context of this video.
Yeah.
Education is a part of the solution to this. By educating yourself properly, you'll see it coming. You'll be able to identify it. You'll be able to eliminate it from out your life, and you'll be able to keep your eye on the prize and function throughout this this chaotic system that we are in right now.
No, about that.
I just like to interject at this point. Some of the resource information that I kind of got about what we're talking about tonight. I subscribe to reading this book right here. It's called The Black Matrix,
Mm-hmm.
and it's by Mr. Johnson. I forgot his last name is Johnson. No, his name is Franklin G. Jones, and he speaks in touch about the psychological warfare on Black people. And this is a renowned work. He's a common man. He writes in a common man way, so don't expect large words that have no real meaning. He brings it to the layman's terms, very common speaking, so that you can understand how many of us got to the point of not trusting, how the social media has been engineering us to not trust each other. We had to first get to a point, just like you said, instead of us going to each other, we were programmed by the ministers in the church and other areas to go trust the European man, the bankers, all those outside of who we are. And they were the ones to make us feel that they were the ones to grant us our grandest wishes. So what we have to do is get back to the core point, just like you said, have meetings just like we are having right now. Next time we should probably invite each one, teach one, bring one for the next Sunday's meeting. And we need to have these Sunday meetings. We need to build upon these Sunday meetings so that people can become more in unification with each other. We shouldn't just have the continued regulars of who we are, but we should advertise on our Facebook. Great meeting, come to it, have it as a designated point in time, and discuss these profound topics of which we are speaking right now. We can climb back to where we was, but we have each one must teach one consciousness. So instead of us coming by ourselves, we need to start inviting other people, build community. From here, if they want to come to meetings like this, that would be great. That's a great point for them to start stealing from this kind of format, this platform. This is a great platform. I honor all the members who have taken the time out of their evening to come and attend and to bring forth their truth, because it's not easy to step out of who you are and share some sensitive part of yourself. But I think we need to do this just like people have AAA meetings. We need to have these kinds of meetings for us to be rehabilitated back to unity. We got to find out what name the Unification Arms meeting. We need to start having Unification Arms meeting. What do you guys think about on that take?
Yes, I definitely agree with you, Queen. We definitely need to start having a unification arms meeting. We welcome the public to come in to our meetings, sit in, comment, let us know, communicate with us, interact with us, join us in this motion towards freeing ourselves financially, physically, mentally, spiritually, economically.
Okay, so I'm going to start posting the meetings on my Facebook for Sunday, Unification Arms meeting on Sunday around this time. This way people can come and they can unburden themselves about, because you need to have at least one day where you can unburden yourself after you done gone through a lot of things throughout the 6 days of working and interacting with people. You got to have one day where people would be patient, people would not be judgmental. Don't be judgmental, and allow a person to unburden themselves. That's what our people that are in post traumatic stress system in this system. That's what they need, is to know that they won't be judged. That it's all right for them to feel the feelings of what they're going through. That it's all right. We have these beautiful meetings that are so non-judgmental. I love my tribe here, because they sit back, they listen, they give that space, they share. And I'm in love with my group here, my tribe. Okay. I'm really starting to feel the love here, coming to the meetings and sharing. I want to invite some people to come in our next Sunday meeting, so that they can share as well.
Most deaf.
Yes.
Most deaf.
What would be next week's topic that would be equally emotional that we should explore?
Hey, we have another podcast going on after this too. So we have another one scheduled for after this. Next week's topic, we'll share that with the people next week. They just gonna have to tune in and follow us, and they'll find out what next week's topic is. We definitely gonna be on here on Sundays. We do this every Sunday, so make sure you got your popcorn ready and you ready to take in this knowledge that we want to break down and build back up for you. All right. I still want to continue to go into some more, because ultimately what we would like to do is provide a solution. So when you watch this video, you'll find you'll find one, two, three, maybe 10 remedies that you can use to arm yourself against other people with PTSD, other people with energy and motion that still was inside the vehicle that they have not filtered out and did something about. You understand? These are people, these are ticking time bombs. Do you want to bump into a ticking time bomb? That sounds like you like a video game. I think Mario's you remember Nintendo back in the day? You run into the bomb and you blow up. You don't want to blow up. So you got to protect yourself. You know, there's many different ways of self-defense opposed to physical blows that you're throwing. There's a mental thing too. It's chess, not checkers. So let me see. Let's kind of break it down. Like, you know, this mental, this form of mental psychosis that you know shows itself within relationships. Let's kind of tap into that. Like, you know, throughout my last few years of, you know, dating, meeting women, and these type of things, definitely since I have awoken and, you know, became more conscious of things like this that we're talking about. Like, wow, this person may be suffering from a post-traumatic stress disorder. Maybe that's why they're acting like this, and maybe that's why I can't, like, you know, properly articulate my words and communicate effectively to this person, so we can kind of swap points of views and, you know, meet in the middle on a particular decision that we can both agree on. This is how, you know, in my opinion, a human being in their right mind should present themselves or should interact with other human beings in their right mind. Because I grew up in many different rough environments. I travel. You know, you can consider me like a globetrotter. I definitely, you know, touched the globe, born in a different country, living here in the United States, and then living here in Mexico, where I'm at right now inside my office. So, you know, I've been exposed to many different diverse, different cultures, different personalities. And one big thing that stands out is everyone wants to survive. So this method of survival that, you know, is present, way of survival, our environment is controlled. I know that everything that I look outside my window or whatever I'm seeing, that I'm observing outside of my body, which I call my vehicle, anything that I'm observing outside of my vehicle are thoughts. I have this flashlight right here, right? This design is someone's thought. They, you know, as far as like the whole technology behind it, you have a battery and it touches the wire and it hits the light bulb and boom, right? That's someone thought about that. It came from someone's mind. You understand? So with that being said, I'm able to identify that. So when, you know, someone could manipulate this to be a form of not necessarily the flashlight. Let's talk about TV. The things that they're showing you is manipulated. And, you know, when you receive entertainment, is enter and obtainment. So we have to learn how to guard ourselves against things that would enter and obtain us. We have to be consciously aware of what we are letting into our internal space. You understand? Because it could trigger a PTSD. It could trigger, you know, unfortunate realities in the future if we're not aware of it. A lot of it that is that we're digging ourselves in our own ditch. You see what I'm saying? We keep doing it repeatedly, making wrong decisions and not being able to back it up and handle it. You know, you'll make a decision and then you won't be able to you know, be responsible enough to cater to that decision, and it kicks you in the ass. And then you might even know that that will happen again, and you just do it again due to this level of PTSD. But let me answer this thing on my phone. I'm curious to know what you guys will have to say about that.
Peace, family. Have a blessed evening.
Okay, Queen.
Peace.
Nice building with you. Talk to you this week coming up. Okay, we got brother Darnell about to come in. I'm about to invite him.
Okay.
This is one of the original people we've been building like with this podcast with. I'm sure you guys would love to build with him too.
Yeah, most definitely. But I was saying, as far as this being solution driven, I had learned some things about what a couple of the tribes back home do. They have this thing where like the village kind of like wherever you're at geographically or around who's around you, they kind of all start an investment fund where they all just could put what they could put in it every week and every certain amount of time they invested together. You know what I mean? I know their model was like, okay, if we can all afford $10 a week, let's all put $10 in, you know what I'm saying, and buy this for the community. Let's all put $10 in whenever we can, though. It's not no big thing, but I just thinking about that, like even trying to start that amongst my own family. Like, okay, y'all, we know on certain times we're gonna need this, so everybody contribute $5 every week. You know what I'm saying? We just start trying to have somebody invest in the stock market for us, or invest in bond markets, or anything like that. You know what I mean? And it's going to be a small scale. It doesn't require a lot. It'll just be more so if we could save $1,000 every 3 months, that's something. Say, okay, for this month community, we gonna get everybody a set of books, or where we could fund our own book clubs like that. You know what I mean? Or anything that we can do to encourage camaraderie and group economics.
I just wanted to add something to that, brother. You said something about the stock market. So I don't necessarily want to confuse our people. I believe in that. I hear that too. That's definitely a way. But that could be easily misinterpreted from true solution to you know this issue that we're having, like this oppression and the effects to it. And all it is that we must own and control our own. So when you invested money into the stock market, that's someone else's. You got to invest money into uh, the black stock market. So
Yeah. No,
that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm.
Yeah, I'm not using the stock market as the goal. I'm just using it for that was just an example of any way we could participate in group economics with each other. Because to me, like one of the biggest effects of the PTSD is we do not practice group economics. We don't practice it. As a whole, some of us do, but as a whole, with as much spending power as we have, with as much economic power as we have, we do not practice group economics. We don't practice group buying. We don't practice group sharing, profit sharing. We don't do none of that.
Well, guess what, brother? Now that the people are tuning in right now and watching this, they about to
Mhm.
start. We about to start practicing that. And if you're watching
Most
this and interested in practicing it with, me and the tribe, definitely contact us at ARM. Definitely hit us up, and let us know what's up, and we'll take it from there, family. Definitely.
okay, most def. Yeah, I'm with that. And as I was talking about the effects of this, these are the effects of it. The effects of it are that we just feel so disconnected. I know, like in the PTSD realm, like I said, we spoke on it. I don't know if anybody was hearing it. I know we had some people leave, some people come in. That one of the biggest issues is that the actual education, like you were speaking on, and the knowledge of it is not available. You know what I mean? It's just not available on a wide scale. Mhm.
True.
It's peace, brother,
Yeah.
peace.
Peace, peace, peace. I don't know. I'm in the dark. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Peace, brother. I hear you. I hear you.
All right, what's going on? Long time. Who
Yeah.
else on here with us?
That's what I'm saying. We got the family in here.
Okay. What's going on, fam?
What's up? What's up?
What's good with you?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
How you doing, Queen? You okay?
Yes. Peace.
Yes, yes. Peace, peace, peace,
Yeah,
peace.
so, hey, brother Mace. We talking about PTSD from growing up black. That's what we talking about. So we
Mhm.
touched some real nice topics, man. We was talking about like how that comes out in relationships when dealing with people. We talked about trust. We talked about like how that comes out when you're trying to like uplift yourself, working with other individuals, that type of trust, knowledge. Like we identified as a lack of knowledge, like because you have not been educated on how to properly defend yourself from energy and motion. And
Uh-huh.
if you do have this type of energy and motion that has infected you, what to do about it, how to kind of like fully understand what this took place, kind of like go through these certain type of applications of understanding within the mind mentally, basically introspection, studying yourself and what just happened. Okay, I was at this state, I was at this state, and then
Mm-hmm.
when this happened, it got me on this state. Or you
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying? And then like, many different manifestations of this form of mental psychosis, which is, I'm calling it post-traumatic stress disorder, mental psychosis, because it's not natural. It's not, you at your top of the line way of thinking and mental behavior. You have been
Mm-hmm.
infected. So, I'm going to call it a mental psychosis or a mental disorder. So that's where we at. And we're just sharing like, some of the experiences of what that is about, you know. If I might add, I'll just throw something in just to keep it going, right? Being black, just being black, being dark skinned like how I'm dark, being dark skinned like how I'm
You know,
dark skinned. You know, I'm thinking it's a crime. It used to feel like it's a crime.
yeah, we
You know,
should
it
we
used to
should treat
feel,
it as a crime. We should treat it as a
I'm just saying,
crime. But
I'm just saying,
the
hear me out.
yeah.
I want to hear this because this is like, this is true. It feels
Okay.
like a crime being black. I'm walking into, a place of business, or I'm walking into public amongst like those that are not, and it feels like a crime. Feels some type of way. Why? It's, when I study that within my being,
Mhm.
this type of energy that occurs, which gives you anxiety, right? I'm looking at it as like a form of self doubt. It's like a form of self doubt. It's like, um, due to being called like what the brother was just saying, like, African booty scratcher, black ass, blackness, these type of things, growing up
Yeah.
kind
Them,
of
them,
triggered.
them effects is something that was actually put on us by the description alone. Because, in a lot of different sectors, they think black is actually a negative thing, even in some of the African religions. So, it's a oh,
Yeah, definitely, it's definitely passed
I'm
down.
outside.
That's what I was kind of like touching on earlier. It is a perpetuated. It's what we inherited. Instead of us inheriting, family businesses and family houses and land and these type of things. Family assets. We have inherited post traumatic stress disorder,
Yeah,
bad bad
that's that
habits.
trauma. That's that trauma to the soul. It's the trauma to the soul, and it's actually, it's actually what we accepted from others that actually giving us a description and an identification of something negative, and we holding on to it by even calling ourselves the even black. Even black, because we got that from somebody else. That's an English terminology. So that's their energy that they put out, and we still accepting it. Other to do that, other to actually get away from all that, is actually regrouping and doing our stuff all over again, because we actually accepting things that don't even belong to us. That's even in the language. So that's why a lot of times when I'm up there studying or trying to actually project something totally something different, it's like, dang, once I actually do that, and then I find out that if you do more research on any words that you created come from somewhere that it don't even belong to us. So that ain't our energy. That ain't our language. That ain't this even communicating like this. This ain't even healthy. Cause it's a soul thing. It deals with it, your internal spirit. So If ones don't understand that by now, we just still lost on that unity that actually need to be done, and it's sad. And yes, it's gonna cause a disorder, a dysfunction in family, and it's over. It's been over 400 years of this disorder. So it's like if we're gonna do something about it, actually change it, or we're gonna continue on living in that misery because we doing stuff off of somebody else's energy was actually against us. So it ain't gonna ever balance itself out unless you rejuvenated it all together. Excuse me for excuse me. So, but the understanding that, but using in context of communicating now because we using the English language. Now, knowing that it's it's affects it affects you, but at the same time, you gotta love yourself completely, genuinely to actually let that change. And know that don't let words affect you because we greater than a word. We way more greater than a word. So the words, like words should not never hurt us, period. Because them ain't our words anyway. We using somebody else's words. But we gotta get people to understand that. Really do. Because before we even created before words was created, we were sounding them out. We were sounding words out. So it ain't the word, it's ourselves. And actually understanding that alone, you have to actually accept, okay, what's against you, but actually start building something for ourselves and really do it for real. Some people just doing it to actually be beneficial with products, the same products that's actually against you already because you still gonna exchange money for it and everything. So if we ain't gonna completely get away, we're gonna still linger with all the trauma that actually been with us because we ain't getting away. We ain't rejuvenating. We not. So
I want to add to that. So I know that if we were able to properly identify ourselves, like if we were to say, like, okay, this is what I am. If we knew our history, if
yeah,
we
but
had,
everything that you end up doing in history was written in an English language. Now,
no,
if we go
hear me,
back into some
hear
other
me.
languages, then
This is
it's
where I'm
better.
getting. This is where I'm getting at because this is a form
Mhm.
of another solution. Like so
Mhm.
if we had that confident understanding of who we are, that
Mhm.
totality of being, right?
Mhm.
We once we have that thorough understanding of who we are in totality, we would then be able to put our best foot forward.
Oh yeah, cause
Yeah, yeah.
so if knowing who you are is actually accepting all that you are, and then you gotta understand where you at first because you just you who you are is just you, but you're a part of something greater than that, and it actually got to be in unity. You know, we got to be in unity. It got to be in unity. If it ain't in unity, it ain't gonna be right, and everybody got to be on one accord on that because if you still feeding something that's actually against you, it's gonna be still against you, regardless of what it is.
So I
Regardless
say
of
this.
what
I
it
got this theory. Not to cut you off, bro. I got this theory. One
is.
plus one equal two. Simple as this. One plus one equal two. So and also, insane is doing the same thing, expecting different results.
Right.
So like if you grew up watching your parents struggle to make ends meet, and you grew up and saw certain things within your environment. I would say a ghetto environment or however you grew up, like whatever the case may be. Some people grew up in more fortunate families. Some people grew up in poor families. Some people grew up in the slums. Whatever the case may be, if you were or are intelligent enough to identify some the things or perceive that experience, like how what we're talking about within the context of this video, like you got to look at things real deep, family. Like you got to really zoom into it. and see the flaws. Like if that struggling parent owned something, or nothing is going to happen overnight. You're gonna have to sacrifice a lot. It's gonna require a level of strength. Like you're gonna have to definitely be a strong individual to be able to say, you know what, I'm putting my foot down. I'm gonna own something in this life. I'm gonna own and control more resources on this planet. I'm gonna do it. That's what I'm gonna do. And you put your foot down, and you struggle, and you go through the struggle, and you start seeing, like, that what you said that you're going to do starting to come true. It's nothing like that feeling. We need to heal in these type of ways. Like, when you have your own resources that you have in your own possession, that kind of gives you a level of confidence, a newly found confidence. Because look, no matter what, you know that your people's cool. No matter what, you can survive. Our people, because they cannot survive, they're angry. Because they cannot survive, they're going to inflict wounds and pain on you for them to kind of survive, to see the next day, to fill their stomachs up. Hunger pains. I personally, in my life, I lived a rough life. I remember going to sleep hungry, and I remember waking up hungry, and I remember going to sleep hungry again, missing meals straight, not eating for a day. I remember eating tuna fish and oodles and noodles with a boiled egg, because that's all I can afford for the time. I remember all different types of I can't afford it diets, rations. I call it rations. I remember not having no money at all, no support, no nothing. Right? I've been in so many funny situations, no support, no nothing. I go over. I could come to any one of y'all houses, right? And I would ask you. I'll ask for some bread and some syrup, like whatever it is. Like some people ain't got it neither, and I just gotta settle for bread and syrup.
Bro, my dude said bread and syrup.
Yeah,
Not
bread
many
and syrup.
understood that. Not many understand the bread
Not
and
many
syrup, bro.
understand bread and syrup. You see what I'm saying? So I'm
Bro,
just
I'm
trying to keep it
telling
all
you,
in real.
I came from one of them families, man, where you a growing boy growing up in a family, so your mama tell you you got 3 loaves of bread in there, big old thing of syrup. Go ahead, make them bread and syrup sandwiches, man. I remember having the grilled
Yeah,
cheese sandwiches you gotta make in the microwave, man, cause you can't
For
grill
real,
no cheese.
for real, for real.
yeah,
I'm telling you, people don't know
yeah.
the struggle. They don't
Oh
understand, man.
yeah, yeah. The struggle is real for a lot, and it's sad because it's sad because we supposed to be more family based. And I was talking
Exactly.
to my mother today, and I was telling her about uh how yeah, like she never ever told me to love myself. She ain't never told me to love myself, and I knew that coming 18, I'm gonna be out the door. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be out the door because she don't want to take care of me because the struggle was already hard. You go fend for yourself. I can't deal with it. Instead of having it together, having a family together and building together in that house structure because of the dysfunctional ways of have to struggle because of uh the lack of unity of a true nation over here, as a real family that actually take care of their people, that really
Real.
care about the people and not really trying to take over a whole bunch of areas with your money and manipulating people and all that type of stuff. But I was telling my mama, I'm like, you know, I wish that our family was actually more together. Cause if we was, we would be able to put ourselves in a better situation for us financially. You
Oh,
know,
for sure,
don't
bro. I
nobody
completely
don't
understand.
nobody got no don't nobody got nothing to give nobody because we actually struggling separately than struggling together.
Bro, I'm
And
telling
and
you,
it's
I was just having that conversation. Preach, bro, preach.
and it's it's
For
it's
real.
it's crazy, man, because I know that doing things on my own, it's like people just actually want you dead because you ain't never did nothing in life by yourself. I mean, you didn't learn how to walk by yourself. You didn't learn how to do nothing by yourself. So If anybody telling you that, hey, do it by yourself, they don't want you to do nothing. They don't want you to
They
do
don't.
nothing at all, man. And it's sad when like people push you away and you have to do it by yourself.
I'm
It's
telling
sad
you, bro.
because you gonna have
That's
more
a part.
failures
That's a
than
part of integrity, though, brother. That's a part of integrity, man.
oh,
Um,
oh good.
like when you learn, no, I feel that's his life, though. So, like, that's what I'm saying as far as the education to our people, because
Hmm.
definitely you gonna have some young brothers and sisters that don't know nothing about life. They're not prepared. They don't know their parents raised them naive.
Yeah,
They're not telling them about the true ins and outs of how to navigate this cold and wicked world. You see what I'm saying? I feel
yeah,
as though from a young youth, these children should be prepared for this cold, wicked world. The
yeah,
truth.
but some of the parents didn't know either.
That's what I'm saying. We only
You
know
know
what
what
we're
I'm
able to know
saying?
at this point.
And it's a generation of us parents that didn't know. I
And
didn't know.
intellectuals, though, it's our responsibility to kind of share this knowledge and
Yeah,
magnify it to people and present it to them for them to know. This
yeah,
post-traumatic stress disorder,
yeah.
these issues that can be remedied, the fact that everyone is out here trying to survive is a dog eat dog world, and what we're doing is destroying our own kind. We're trying to survive, but we are not surviving. Like we eliminating,
I mean,
annihilating other
even that
participants.
terminology surviving together, you know what I'm saying, is letting you know that we ain't living together. Cause surviving ain't successful. Survival is at the bottom of the puddle. You know what I'm
We
saying?
shouldn't even be at
Surviving
a
is at the
survival
bottom.
phase, man.
Trying to go up to the top, but
It would,
living, y'all enjoying the life experience. You know what I'm saying? And
true.
surviving ain't no enjoyment. It ain't no enjoyment in surviving at all. So I I I'd rather live together with you, not survive with you, because surviving together, that means y'all don't got it together yet to live. See?
So what about the person who, like, this person, they ain't got no job. And all they know is to run the streets and do what they do out there.
Well,
You
It's,
know,
it's it's sad that's all they know. But see, at the same thing, it's a self responsibility as well. If that's all you know,
what do you
that
do,
means you didn't
brother?
want to
Let me
try to know
cut you off.
nothing else either.
I think cut you off. What do you do with that? That's how you survive. That's how you got these kids, you got these people, and that's just how you survive and maintain yours. Like that's what you missed when I said that. You got some people who just gave up on
Mhm.
progression in life in a certain type of way, and it's kind of like uh, it works for them at the time, which is a level of self destruction, which is a way of suicide. It's like a
That's suicide by decision.
yeah, suicide by decision. It's going to take
Mhm.
time. Some people
Right.
don't do it, like as long as I can be able to wear some Jordans to the club
That-
on Saturday.
Why
That's what.
that's why
But
one of
brother
the
Gar,
basic
Gar,
that's why one of the basic principles is actually get people to be genuine. That's one of the basic keys. Get people to be genuine. Because if when you start being genuine with yourself, you start loving yourself. You ain't gonna make some of them decisions like that. That's
and that's
actually
the
harmful to
point,
yourself.
right? That's the point I keep saying. Like our expectations as a community, as a culture, is low. It's
Very low.
super low. So when we over here saying, "Oh man, I'm 26. I'm glad to make it a 26." That should never be something that we say ever.
At all.
But we glad with that. So we're working at McDonald's, getting minimum wage, but we made it to 26. Oh, bro, we
And listen,
celebrating. You feel
and
me?
I'm
Right.
Like we
Right.
only
celebrating, and that's horrible,
Right.
bro. You would never hear a white man say that.
never.
Right.
Like I'm only 28, and I feel like an OG. Like I made it
You
to
feel me?
28. Like
I'm
real.
28, bro. I
Oh,
feel like
I'm 28.
Yeah. That's that. That's that.
I'm grandpa
That's
up in
that.
here to these little youngsters. Like it's
Right.
horrible, bro.
Well, I'm glad y'all still here and existing, man, and existing and having the mindset to even try and to even do better, to be better. So I salute. with nothing
For
but
sure.
genuine passion for nothing but genuine unity. I
Oh
salute
yeah.
y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because
Hey, same to you, brother.
it takes one to have that type of courage to actually even open up and let people know, hey man, I'm glad I've been made it to 26. You
You
know
from B,
that,
bro?
huh?
You from B more?
Nah, man, I'm from Flint, Michigan, but
Are you
I stay
Flint?
here. Yeah, I'm from Flint, Michigan, but I stay here in Texas in
Okay.
Van Austin. So you know what I'm saying. I've been moving around, man. I've been moving around, but yeah, but other than that, uh, the most important is actually telling y'all to keep loving yourself and keep doing what you're doing. Cause one thing for sure, when you start opening up your mind and your heart, you open up the capability to actually reach out to others, and that's how we end up connecting together and
That's true.
actually trying to do something about it, you know,
Yeah.
even if it's just something small and minute, at least that seed be growing to the potential of what we gonna end up seeing later, or the next generation gonna end up inheriting.
Yeah,
So,
that's true right there. We just
you
gotta
know what
get
I'm
our
saying? I
we
salute
gotta get
that.
our standards
Bro,
higher, man.
I don't want to cut y'all off or nothing like that, but I got to get back in here, man. I got to get back in here, man. I hate this job, but I got to do
Peace.
I feel
Yeah,
you.
it's okay, bro. We working on
it.
a remedy for that. All right, we working
Oh
right now.
yeah, oh yeah. I hate this job with a passion, man. I feel like I really sleep on the ground by the bricks instead of working for somebody that ain't gonna benefit my people. I hate that with a passion. So,
We working on a remedy for that. I
oh
guarantee you.
yeah, no worry. Hey, I'm real close to finishing this book, man. I'm real close to finishing this book. So, um, I hope that it actually generate uh a purification within self to actually end up doing something real serious to actually if we got to actually even have a a, a whole different outlook, or actually trying to not compete but actually link up with people that actually really want to do it and tell them to drop their flags because it's a better purpose than your flag, and we going through the same things but trying to get it done in different ways when we actually need to get it together in a unity.
Yeah, for real. So you got to speak it into existence, brother. Okay.
Oh
I can't
yeah,
wait.
so
I can't wait to read your book. Okay. I can't wait to read your book. I'm sure it is a superb book, and I can't wait to read it. Make sure I'm the first person you notify when it's done. I'm
hey,
anticipating the
I,
book, brother.
I got you, man. I got you. Let me get back in here, man. And if y'all still here, I link back in on like one of my little breaks or something. But let me get back in here though.
All
All right,
right,
cool.
bro.
Do your thing,
All
brother.
right, love, man. Nothing but love. It's the level. It's the level. It's the level of. It's the level of what you accept. You don't have to accept nothing less than yourself, and you deserve way more than you think.
Mm.
So, y'all keep doing what y'all doing, man. I'll talk to y'all later, man. Nothing but love and peace, man.
All right. Thank you
Peace.
for
Alrighty,
that
bro.
powerful message, family. Peace.
All right, for sure. Hey,
Yeah, that's true, man. That whole thing about the
Yeah, for
love
real.
of self is lacking in our community, man.
Yeah. So, hey, brothers and sisters, this is what I would like to do. Like, with this particular video right here, I would like everyone to kind of like voice their opinion, like give a closing statement, and then we're going to go ahead and end this video. But we're gonna keep filming after we end the video. But we about to just close this one. All the viewers that's watching this right now, you gonna have to stay tuned for part two. All right. So my the tribe, I'm gonna let each member of the tribe that's present right now, just give a little closing statement about this topic that we're breaking down and we just built back.
Okay, I'll go first because I have to go.
Yeah.
um, I have homeschool in the morning, but I think that one of the things that needs to happen is to build trust among us And in order for us to see change in this world, we need to be the change. So if we are all in union of supporting one another and working together and building each other up, I feel that actions speak louder than words. So if other people see our group the way it is and the way it's going to grow, they're going to want a piece of that. And that's when we're going to have more, we're going to be able to welcome more and more people into our unity group. So with that being said, I think if we can continue these meetings weekly and support one another and give a lot of feedback to one another, I think this will be something greater than all of us. So,
Okay, Maribel, before you go, could you let
mhm.
the viewers know where they can find you on Instagram and let them know that you got some really nice products out there for them to come check you out and support your business?
Yeah, it's called Mabel's Planting Roots. On Instagram, I'm M Sanchez 42, and on Facebook, it's just my name, Maribel with two L's Sanchez. And soon I'll have a website. I'm working on it.
Definitely, yeah. Let them know like what your products is about. Like I
uh,
seen some of your work. You got
okay,
some
my
really nice work.
products is about. Let's see, I make body lotions, oatmeal body lotion. I make lavender. I make healing salve. I make lip balm. I make deodorants. I make home remedies. I also make a psoriasis cream. I make all sorts of little things. But I'm gonna once I get my website up and running, I'm gonna mention it to you guys, and hopefully you guys can share with your friends and family and get me started. So that'll be
Okay, that's perfect.
and scrub.
Anybody else want to add something?
Um,
I'd say my closings is that, as far as the situation and as remedy, I agree with everyone on the situation that I believe there has to be an awakening in each other to want to actually be with each other again. And that's my main focus. You can find me at Anu Godman on Instagram and Facebook. And that's what I'm about. I'm just about building peace and love with each other and unity with each other by any means on any levels. Peace.
What about you, Garland?
What's up, y'all? My name's Gillen. You can follow me on Facebook for right now. Soon I'll be back on Instagram and everything. I had to make a whole new account and everything. But in my closing verse, I just want to say, speaking on everything that's going on, we got problems within ourselves. The big thing that we got to understand is we keep thinking the enemy is the European or the white man or the system, and it is. They hitting us at every angle. But now it's to a point where it's 2000. We are in the age of knowledge and entering the age of awakening. So with that being said, if anything is happening now, we got to blame ourselves. We can't keep blaming them. If we not
mhm.
coming together, that's not their fault. That's our fault. If we not building businesses for our people, that's not their fault. That's our fault. They put a system into place, but we got our own minds. We got our own thoughts. We got to be the ones to sit there and say, hey, man, my mama went through this, grandma went through this, great grandma went through this. Something got to change. And if something got to change, we got to build for each other. Because we all know grandma wasn't building with nobody else. Mama wasn't building with nobody else. So why not build with each other? Everywhere around the world, the Asians and the whites, they building everything around the world right now. And why? Because they build amongst each other. It's simple. It's not hard. They make life difficult because media makes it seem difficult. But man, if we start coming together and build, just think about it for a second. This is my last closing verse right here. If many of these rappers out here in the rap game would come together instead of keep going to all of these different sources they got to go through, think about how much money they could make together. It's the same with us. We seem small, but we more than those rappers. We're more than the movie actors. So coming together, we can build anything we want to. We ain't got to keep asking them, voting for it. We can just do it. Peace.
So definitely, man, if you're watching this right now, reach out to us, unite with us. Let's get some things done. Like, let's make some big moves together. Reach out to us. If you're checking this out and you liking what you hear, reach out to us, unite with us, become a part of the tribe. What I would have to say is, I know for a fact that we have been socially engineered. I know that we need to kind of look within ourselves and locate those areas that we have been social engineered in. Look into our elders and study that and understand that at one point in history we have been captured and manipulated and robbed of our history and stripped of our identity and been through all these type of things. We need to recover from that because we have been through that and experienced that. We have low income. And the only thing that we do inherit is post-traumatic stress disorder, problems, and hatred. And you see what I'm saying? So we need to kind of waking up and identifying this and doing something about it, which is not contributing to the pushing around, the perpetuating hate. So, I just want to encourage people to stay tuned to part 2. This is what we do here at the Temple Breakdown. We break the knowledge down, we build it back up, and we dish it out for you, the people, to completely understand. Peace.
Peace.